Have you ever wondered what happened to the gladiators after they fell in the arena? Not the ones who raised their hands to the roar of the crowd, but the ones who lay still, motionless, in the blood-stained dust. Because behind the spectacle, behind the roaring of the Colosseum and the emperor's decisive thumbs, there was a place almost no one wanted to see, a place where heroism turned into oblivion, where bodies were treated like waste. That place was the Espilarium. Stay with me, because what you're about to discover isn't taught in history books. And once you know it, you won't be able to stop thinking about it. Beneath the great amphitheaters of the Roman Empire, hidden in shadows and silence, there was a space that stood in brutal contrast to the glory above. There were no victory cries, no waving banners, only dragged bodies. The Espilarium wasn't just a storage room. It was the rawest reflection of a society that applauded death as if it were art. That's where the lives of those who had fought with everything they had ended. Most gladiators were slaves, prisoners of war, or condemned criminals. For them, combat wasn't a game or an honor. It was a sentence with the slightest chance of redemption. If they won, they lived. If they fell, the Espilarium awaited them. Say stone trap, where their corpses were stripped of armor and cast into darkness as if they had meant nothing, as if their whole life had been nothing more than Sunday entertainment. But why such contempt for those who gave their blood to the empire? Because in Rome, a person's value didn't lie in their courage but in their status. And gladiators, no matter how brave, were merely property, broken merchandise after use. Some bodies, the lucky ones, were recovered by their owners to be reused or secretly buried. Others were fed to beasts, disposed of without ceremony, erased from history. And yet, there were exceptions. On rare occasions, a gladiator became so famous that his death brought mourning to the people. Then, and only then, could he be granted a proper burial, with a tombstone, an epitaph, and a grave free from contempt. Some archaeologists have discovered cemeteries with gladiator remains that show this rare gesture of respect, but they were few, very few. The irony is that while these men fell into complete anonymity, the weapons they used were carefully collected and preserved. Their gear was worth more than their bodies, because it could be used again, because the show had to go on, because in Rome human life was disposable, as long as it served to entertain. Today, 2,000 years later, all that remains are ruins of colosseums and a few forgotten graves. But the Espilarium, that dark corner beneath the stands, still lives in our memory as a symbol of the cost of spectacle, as a warning of what can happen when we stop seeing others as human. And you, do you think those men deserved such an ending? Silence beneath the arena, oblivion among the stones. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments, and if this story moved you, if it made you think, I invite you to subscribe and share this video with someone else, because as long as they are remembered, the forgotten will live on, just a little longer. See you in the next journey to the past. Today on the show, we're diving into the world of economic indicators. These are the numbers that tell us how the economy is doing. Things like GDP, unemployment rates, and consumer confidence. But what do these indicators really mean? How are they calculated? And how should we interpret them? We'll break it all down for you with the help of some experts to make sense of the numbers that shape our world.